Our first guest tonight is a man of many talents, including actor, carpenter, and meat whisperer. He has a big new movie alongside Tom Cruise called Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It opens in theaters May 23rd. Please welcome Nick Offerman. You want me to take that for you?
Please. All right, yeah.
You know, you got to be, well, you know. Hey, well, you play the saxophone, don't you? Aren't you a saxophone player?
I have been, yes, indeed.
I
started as a child. My dad had an old saxophone in the attic, and there were 3 ghosts. But maybe this is a tale for Christmas time.
Were you in band? Were you in, like, the school band?
I was in school, but I lived in a really small town in Illinois called Manuka, and there wasn't a lot to do besides sports and band, and I played in the jazz band.
So you were in the jazz band, you were not in the marching band?
I was in the marching band.
Oh, you were?
I was in the pit orchestra and the regular concert band. There were only 17 of us.
So did you play football?
I did play football.
So when the marching band was playing during the football games?
You would play in the halftime show in your helmet and shoulder pads. For real.
How many, I like that. How many members of the marching band were also on the football team?
I mean, there were probably 3 of us.
That's like the worst number in a group of 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be interesting. At some point, somebody should, and I think it would be very clever, if suddenly the whole team just comes out and suddenly they're the marching band.
That would be bad.
Maybe call the city council in Manuka and see if they can work that out.
And then, like, rip off your pants and have a skirt and do a Palm halftime show.
Well, yeah, I think we've now gone too far, but, let's just stick with the original idea.
That's how you figure out where the line is.
Did you ever think about becoming a professional musician?
Yeah, when I was getting ready to graduate high school, there was this, rest his soul, there was a terrible old ogre that we had for a guidance counselor. His brown suit was festooned with dandruff. He had 8 hairs combed over. He had 3 teeth visible in his underbite. And he would smoke in his office. And you'd have to go see him. And he had a worksheet that had like 32 job choices. Architect, attorney, baker, but doctor. But none of the arts were represented.
Oh.
And I went, and so you're supposed to fill out this thing and be like, well, I guess I want to be a lawyer. And I said, I think I want to be an artist. I want to be in the performing arts, and I guess I want to play the saxophone. And he was like, you don't want to play the saxophone. You don't want to go into music. What are you going to do with that? He says.
Really?
Be a band teacher? That's what he says.
Did he really?
Yeah. And I was like,
man.
And I said, all right. Then I guess I'll be an actor, you piece of
Well, I got to tell you, I would have went straight to the band teacher and tell him, you know what the guidance counselor said? You're in school.
You're a dead end.
I'm glad we're talking about school because it is Teacher Appreciation Day, and you were in the most likely to category. I love this. You're most likely to become the host of the David Letterman show. That's real. That's a real deal.
My God.
I can't think of anything better than that.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you that distinction was quite dubious. That was a consolation prize.
Was it?
In my high school yearbook. Is it Teacher Appreciation Day?
It is.
My dad is a retired school teacher.
Oh.
And I've got a couple librarians in the family.
Do you?
So let's all give a round of applause to our teachers and librarians.
I should have guessed you had librarians in the family. I think if somebody said, do you think Nick has librarians in the family? I'd say, yeah, probably a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I text them constantly asking for facts.
And really?
Yeah.
They must be delighted because nobody probably asks them anything anymore.
No, it's true. They're very generous. They have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah, sure.
So in the high school yearbook, I was so pissed because they did one of those sections that said most likely to become president, most likely to end up in jail, and I was so excited because everyone knew I was the only one that wanted to be an actor. Mm-hmm. And one of the distinctions was most likely to become the next Tom Cruise.
And the most likely to become the next Tom Cruise was?
Todd Reich.
Todd Reich. Well, you can kind of see why he was. I mean, he's halfway
You too?
there. I'm just saying.
Because he was the most attractive and best athlete in the school?
Yeah.
That's why he's the next Tom Cruise?
Let me guess. He wasn't marching with a clarinet in his hand, was he?
Bet your sweet ass he was not.
Yeah. Right.
You know what he was doing? Getting kissed. Under the bleachers. While I was playing the baritone saxophone.
Did Todd have any idea of how much this upset you?
He did not. No, Todd has lived a life of service, working for the labor union, and he works for the city of Morris, Illinois now. He's heroic.
Oh, you keep in
just
touch?
like Tom Cruise.
Does Todd do his own stunts?
He does not do his own stunts anymore.
Oh, you know what, Todd? I think Todd would be very envious of this. This is from the New York Post. There is you. Or either you or redheaded Nicole Kidman. But no, I believe that is you.
That is me.
Looking nearly unrecognizable. Now, is this a costume or is this what you're wearing now?
That's after 9 hours of prosthetics. They trim off 30 pounds and then they add all of. That's not true. I did a lot of push-ups to end up looking like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go on a whole program and all that?
I did. I'm working on a show right now that hopefully I'll come see you about in about a year, where I'm playing a former pro wrestler.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I went through a whole training regimen. There's a great guy in town named Grant Roberts who put me through this training, and I'm very grateful. I always wanted a superhero part, but I didn't have the time to go to the gym, you know. It turns out it's only 1 hour a day, 4 times a week.
That all?
I'm not even kidding. It's eating a ton of protein and working out with a smart trainer 4 times a week.
And did you wrestle in school also?
I mean, I did some illicit wrestling with some of the cheerleading squad.
Yeah. But nothing official.
We called it canoodling.
Did you? Well, I look forward to seeing your body in that.
It's.
You know?
Thank you.
Yeah. Or maybe here tonight. Who knows? Why don't we take a break and we'll see if we can get you out of your clothes.
All right.
Nick Offerman is here with us. We'll be right back.
This can't all be true.
Every word. The CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing at the National Intelligence Directorate.
That was just 2 months ago. You two would have been in that meeting.
He arrived in the form of Mr. Kittredge's aide.
And left as Mr. Kittredge, I believe.
That is Nick Offerman in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And you are, from what I understand, you are wearing the same sweatshirt that Tom Cruise was wearing in that clip we just saw.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the case, Jimmy.
And why did he give you that shirt?
No, he did not give me this shirt. That scene with Tomcat, as I like to call him, that was the first thing that we shot for some days on the movie. And that was my first time working with him. And his wrists are bound, and he would come in every day and set up and do this like 3-page monologue to the president, Angela Bassett, and her cabinet, of which I was a member. And he would make this appeal to us and explain his situation. And by the end of the first day, I went home and said to my wife, Megan, I'm in love with Tom Cruise. It was like I was going to a college class of Charisma 101, or protagonist doctorate degree. And I mean, by the time he finished shooting that scene, I was like, the movie. I will take a bullet for you, Tom. Like, please put me on your security
What
detail.
was it that he did that had you so taken with him?
I think it's just his work ethic. He's so passionate. Every second, he's either scrutinizing, how can we make okay, this scene is really intense, but how can we get the audience to piss themselves even more? Like, he's just as constantly, like, that amount of focus, and then sometimes he brings it to bear on you.
Oh.
He will focus in on you, like they say the greatest politicians do.
Right.
And you're just like, wow, yeah. No, I totally love woodworking. Like, and he just that's his superpower. Where
Yeah, he is relentlessly friendly.
Yeah.
And like so friendly to people. My dad cornered him and talked to him for like an hour and a half once. And then Tom swore he didn't mind.
And that's the thing. It doesn't add up on paper. He did the same thing with me and Megan
What did he do?
at his birthday party. When we arrived at his birthday party, Megan screen tested for Risky Business back in the 80s. And so Tom was like, and he stood there and talked to us for 20 minutes. And then when we left, he came running out and talked to us for another 20 minutes. There were at least 100 people at this party. If everybody got 40 minutes, it doesn't add up, Jimmy.
No. Maybe there's more than one Tom Cruise. Is that possible?
Maybe he has mastered quantum physics and he's existing in more than one timeline.
If anyone could figure that out, it's him.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a movie of this magnitude, such a big movie? No.
No, man. I was in Miss Congeniality 2,
Yeah.
Armed and Fabulous. With all due respect. It's a fine action movie.
Do you find, is it like a much more pleasant experience being on a big movie?
It's very different. I mean, I come from theater and then I come from independent film. So things are much more like, let's focus in on the scene work because that's all we can afford.
Right.
We're not going to blow anything up. We don't have any actors that are willing to hang off of a biplane. And so it's utterly fascinating to work with people of this high degree, the whole crew, just on every level, and watch Tom and Chris McQuarrie, the writer-director, we call him McHugh, watch the two of them do this mad scientist thing where they're workshopping and like sculpting the movie into the most thrilling, exciting thing. And they're talking about like, oh yeah, we'll cut over here, and we'll make the seats vibrate, and then we'll blow the thing up. And even shooting the scenes, you're being thrilled, and your adrenaline is through the roof. So
you really are in love. I can see it now. I mean, I can really feel it. I hope Megan is she okay with this? Is she something that she's able to deal with?
We're in talks. I don't even think the number he gave me is the real number because.
Well, you look real good in this sweatshirt, I'll tell you that. And you smell like him, too, which is nice.
Man.
Yes.
You know what that smell is?
What is it?
Danger.
Nick Offerman, Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning opens in theaters May 23rd. Thank you, Nick. We'll be back with Charlie Cox. Guillermo, do you know how many subscribers we have on YouTube now?
20 million.
That's right. Yeah, that's why we're wearing these glasses. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not, help us get to 20,000,001.